We're going to take a live picture of Cuba. Hundreds of people were out in the U.S. in the streets of Little Havana and Miami following the news of former Cuban President Fidel Castro's death. Dozens held signs waving the Cuban flag, many in mourning, others in celebration. Here's that live look at Cuba today. Castro was one of the most divisive and controversial dictators in recent history. His brother and Cuban President Raul Castro made the announcement last night saying his brother will be cremated sometime today. Fox's Brett Baer has more on the late dictator's revolutionary life.
In the end, his speeches had grown shorter, his appearances more rare. But Fidel Castro's tone remained defiant as ever.
Socialismo o muerte.
Socialism or death. Fidel Castro loved to hate America at every political turn.
Hasta la victoria siempre.
Eliancito, la patria te espera.
His own political stock, albeit small, soared during the international custody fight for Elian Gonzalez.
Bingo, bingo, bingo.
When the U.S. returned his little prince, Castro called the moment a moral victory over imperialist America. The man, born Fidel Alejandro Castro Ruz in Biran, Cuba, came to power leading a ragtag band of bearded rebels to overthrow a dictator. He ended up becoming one himself. Castro stood defiantly against 10 U.S. presidents. Around the world, leftists who hated America's influence and power called Castro a hero. But for the U.S., he was the all-too-close face of the bitter Cold War. And while the world could never completely dismiss Castro politically, over time, to some critics, he seemed more like a caricature, with his wiry beard, faded fatigues, and 6-inch cigars. In the summer of 2006, Castro underwent surgery for intestinal bleeding and quietly ceded power to his younger brother, Raul. In February 2008, Castro announced he would no longer serve as Cuba's president and commander-in-chief. A surprising move few thought they would live to see. By the end of the month, the country's National Assembly formally elected Raul to succeed his brother Fidel. After resigning as the head of Cuba's Communist Party in April 2011, Castro remained largely out of the public eye. With one notable exception, in March of 2012, he would welcome a second pontiff, Pope Benedict XVI. The two met privately at the end of Benedict's 3-day visit to Cuba, despite the Pope's vocal opposition to Cuba's government. The two spoke for roughly 30 minutes, with Castro asking the Holy Father, "What does a pope do?" Still, Castro's conspicuous absence in later years fueled constant rumors about his health. When President Obama announced the softening of U.S. sanctions against Cuba in December 2014, President Raul Castro spoke with the American president by telephone, welcoming the announcement.
Y la revolución cubana.
But the man who brought communism to Cuba, Fidel, made no appearances and had no public comment on the ending of the Cold War freeze he'd ushered in more than a half-century earlier. In Washington, Brett Baer, Fox News.